You're listening to Shameless Feminine Speaks with your host, modern-day shaman and sister to all, Rebecca Haywood, right here on LA Talk Radio.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to Shameless Feminine Speaks, the only show on LA Talk Radio for all you shamelessly shameless women, men, ladies, and misfits ready for the feminine re-evolution. That's right, and tonight we are celebrating love. That is the title of tonight's show, and it should just be our title of life, right? Yes. Celebrating love. You know, and I'm going to let Tatyana take it away because this intro, this invitation really came from you. Yeah, so I love that. So
well,
take it away, gal.
It's in honor of the 4th, or Friday, the 14th.
The 14th, the 4th.
I forgot 10.
Well, it just shows you how much Valentine's Day means to this woman. It's like the 4th of July, fireworks, baby.
But this is what we were talking about. It's like, for the longest time for me, as a person, not even as a woman, but as a person, Valentine's Day for me was about love in general and all my little friends. Remember when we would all have our Valentines, and you'd take your Valentines to class, and everybody, you'd take out 30 and you'd get back 30 from 30 different classmates. And I just loved going home and looking at all the little cards. And that's how it was up until around, 7th or 8th grade. Then love got involved.
Then love got in the way of love.
Yeah.
Don't you know it?
Then the definitions started to get involved. Mm-hmm. The definitions of it. Before that, it was truly just a celebration.
Yeah.
Okay, commercialized. But it was a celebration.
Sure.
And they kept it out of any categories, And then love got divined. Okay. But by divined, I mean, it got divided, it got defined, it got manipulated, it got put in boxes. And then we started feeling really, really terrible, didn't we?
Sure.
We didn't have a Valentine. We didn't have a special somebody. Did we get a box of chocolate? Did we get flowers? When we were at work, the girl that got all sorts of stuff on her desk, because we had one of those at my work.
And it wasn't you?
And I remember her name, Adele.
Adele. Well, Adele, if you're listening,
she got
believe it or not, this woman envied you.
She had all sorts of flowers and, all sorts of goodies were delivered,
Oh, the measure of love.
Yes.
The measure of love.
Yes. Mm. And then once I got married, I'm safe. Now I'm safe. Mm-hmm. Why? I have a built-in Valentine.
Guaranteed Valentine's Day every year.
And my former husband, I'll call him, wasn't real big on Valentine's Day, so it was like no big deal. And I'm like, wait a minute, I have a built-in Valentine. Where's my stuff?
I wonder how he's doing now. Aren't they calling it? You were telling me they're calling it Galentine's Day, for women.
Well, they're commercializing it, and now they're making it so that you don't need somebody else, but they're still commercializing it, And so what we're talking about tonight is, Rebecca already said it last session. Mm-hmm. She said, we don't categorize love. We leave it undefined. Mm-hmm. Remember?
Yes.
Well, that's because you can't define love, because love is.
Love is. Yeah, that equation would change to love equals love.
Love.
Love equals love.
Love equals
love is
love.
Love is love.
And then within that category, which is everything, how are you doing with that? Because right now people are so sensitive. Mm-hmm. They're sensitive about, well, I'm a loner and I'm really proud of it. Or, well, I'm married and is that bad? Mm-hmm. Or we're living together and we're doing well. Mm-hmm. Well,
question mark. Question mark.
So what she's going to talk about, I feel, is going to be about these categories. Mm-hmm. And how we've manipulated it. Mm-hmm. And what I'm going to kind of add to it is why.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I mean, we understand why, but we're going to kind of splay it out here for everybody. But then in the end run, why? Why are you not licking your plate clean? Why are you not just loving people up?
Yeah.
Why are you not, if you're with someone, completely abandoning yourself to whatever it is that you long to say, long to feel, long to hear? Why?
Yeah. Why? Why?
Yes. It's like, was there one thing? Well, if you didn't do it then, you won't do it now, but I'll ask you the question anyway.
Sure.
Okay, with Rich.
Oh, yeah.
Was there one thing that you longed to say that you never did?
No. I can say that truthfully. With Rich, everything was on the table.
Okay.
And everything is on the table. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Everything still is on the table.
And it's just like,
delicious.
you know when something's really pretty and you want to squeeze it till it pops?
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Yeah.
Or bite it?
Yeah. Bite it. Yes.
Or you're a biter like me.
Yes.
You see?
Yeah.
Okay. So you did. You squeezed your love out of him. You squeezed as much as he had out of him, right?
Yes. 100%.
Yeah. I'm still squeezing Darius. Yes. I squeeze him because he still has more juice to give me. He still has more. He still has more, and I want it. I want it.
The love that she is
Yes.
wants it.
I like how I feel when I'm, see, a lot of eyes there. I like how I feel when I'm with him. I love it.
Yeah.
But then talk to me. Love defined, though, what happens?
Oh, boy. Well, you know, I almost don't want to talk about love defined without first talking about love undefined.
Beautiful.
Right? I mean, love undefined. Love as that constant. You know, this is kind of, you know, we were saying that last week as if we were giving you some information that you could take home and apply to your life. But what does that mean, love is a constant, right?
Yeah.
Love undefined. Last week I said I'm so bored of unconditional love because it's misused.
Yes.
You know, it's misused. Unconditional love itself has become another condition on love.
Yes.
And so what does unconditional love really, truly mean? You know, it doesn't mean anything, right?
Yeah.
When I asked you, what's your intro for tonight's show? You didn't actually say it tonight. But she said, well, if I were going to do an intro, it would simply be, do you know what love is? And no, you don't have an answer for that?
That's
good.
the answer.
Like, right answer. Like, good start.
Good
you know?
start.
Because it isn't something you can know. To know it is to not be it. And really, the truth is, you are love. I am love. Everything is love. Everything comes from love because it is love. And I know this sounds so airy-fairy.
It does.
And yet it's truth. It's
Yes.
just truth. I mean, we could substitute the word love for energy, right? If you're a science person.
Or
right?
like, or even like. Like. You
sure.
like, but to like.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, see, I have different, I say I love everybody. I don't like everyone.
Okay.
So I don't use those words
No.
interchangeably.
Okay. I get it. Because I'll have to join your brigade on that one.
Yeah. It's a good one.
Yeah.
It's a good one. It gave me nice permission because in those guises of unconditional love, I really thought I was supposed to be loving everybody or liking everybody. Liking everybody and not having any personal preferences, not having any emotions that smelled a little bit like something other than love.
Yeah, we call it like sand in our shoe.
Yeah. Like everything's just supposed to be this all the time and this all the time. And I'm supposed to be open to everybody all the time. And no.
No. You do not have access to me unless I say so. Okay. Access. But do I care for you? Yes. Yes, absolutely yes. But you do not. My caring for you and your caring for me does not give us automatic access.
Yeah.
You know? No.
Yeah. Right.
And so when we're talking about love, it's also talking about truth. And Rebecca made a really good point in our last session when she said, and we both agreed, truth is in the moment. You see, that's why if you start spouting my truth, you're full of shit. Because your truth will metamorphosize. It'll be moment to moment.
Yeah.
Today I love ice cream, tonight I don't. You know, it'll be moment to moment, and that's what's going to make you exciting. Because you know what breaks up relationships faster than anything? Faster than infidelity. Losing curiosity. Losing the ability to be curious, to wonder. Even with friendships. You know, we say we get very, very comfortable, perhaps. But what is it about you and I for 22 years? Every time, you know, Rebecca and I are like a yo-yo. We go and we don't see each other for years, and then we come together. Isn't it true? You know, but when we come together, it's like, what's been happening?
Yeah.
Fill me in.
Yes.
Isn't it?
Yes, yes.
And that's what we love about each other, because we always surprise each other.
Yes.
We totally, completely surprise.
Yes.
You've been where? You were living where? How did I not know you were? What? Do you remember when I was incredulous?
Yes.
I go, what? You were doing what?
Yes, yes. Yeah.
But that was so exciting to me to hear and see that part of you as my friend that I know and love, but I don't know her. I don't know her. She's not in this box like we've talked about. She's a person that is always in a different mode. It doesn't mean she's indecisive. It doesn't mean she's just so malleable. You know, she's what would we call it? Dispersed. It just means that she's in each moment, which allows her to come from deep inside her and what is being requested of her, and then does she want to play or not?
Yeah. And how that relates to love, you know, living love as undefined, living love as love, you know, is that even though, you know, we're arguing that love is a constant, you know, that thing of truth, you know, truth being that variable that flows in relationship to the moment, you know, love flows in that way as well. And it's not that the love that we get more loving or less loving, it's just the direction of how we're expressing our love, you know, how we're dressing our love, how we're using the words of our love, you know. You guys have heard my writing can be very poetic, very lyrical, very metaphorical, right? And then last week, I write with math language, you know, a very cerebral introduction to the show. So you see, we follow, when you know, the expression "follow your bliss," right? I don't like the word bliss because again, it's like, oh, we have to be here. You know what I mean? It's like the thing that makes that. No, you know, love can be that gentle, quiet, so quiet, you know, so slow moving, and then it can be this rush. You know, and it's not that the love is diminished or exaggerated in any way. Less. No. And so in that way, love flows ebbs and flows. And yet it itself is constant because it is what you are, you know. And this is, you know, as Tati and I were talking about the show yesterday, and I was saying, you know, the one thing I would love for them to get before we step into relationship is that aspect, that condition that we place on love of making, you know, one, that it's outsourced, you know, and thus that we make another responsible for it, you know, for our love.
Yes.
And Tati quickly said in her Tati way, it's not just one of the conditions we put on love, it is the condition we put on love. And I loved that. I love it still because it's so true. It is the one condition that we put on love, that love is not what we are, that love is outside of us.
That it must be outsourced.
Yes, it is the one condition that we put on love, and all of the other conditions, for example, what we spoke about last week, love as agreement. You know, if you agree with me, then you love me, right? And if I don't agree with you, then maybe I don't love you.
And
right? So that's an example, but all of those other conditions are just the same condition, an outsource of love, the same condition, just with different names or faces, different
different conditions.
Variations. Different terms of the contract.
But what's happening? What's happening with this condition that she's speaking about is it absolutely doesn't just interfere, it thwarts. You cannot lick your plate clean.
Yes.
You see.
Right.
You can't.
Well, one, you're
can't.
waiting for permission.
Yes.
Mommy, can I lick my plate clean?
Yes. More, please.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Maybe. Am I allowed? Did I earn it? Do I deserve it?
Yeah.
Am I worthy of it? Right? You know, if you can just play along with us tonight in this celebration of love and just imagine for a moment, or let's suspend the imagination that you're not love. Okay?
Yeah.
Because this is the truth, really. If love is what you are, right?
Since love is what you are.
Yeah, since love is what you are, it is not something that you get. It is not something that you give, right? Nor is it something that
you can acquire in any way.
That anybody else can be responsible for.
Which leads me to, we are, at this particular time, at least in the people that I'm knowing, we are the biggest enablers that I have ever seen. Big, fat liars. Enablers. We are enablers right now.
Yes.
We are absolutely enabling. Even as therapists, as guides, as coaches, I'll leave it at that. But instead, the healers, okay? Client comes in and you're telling them what they want to hear. You are not speaking from what is happening. As love, you know immediately whatever is to be known. What is that deepest thought and feeling that you are not sharing?
Yeah.
What is it? As love, when you lick your plate clean, you don't have any feelings of, I should have. You don't feel like, have you ever gone someplace and the food was really good, but for some reason you just didn't eat as much as you could have?
Sure,
and then you walk away and you go, oh, I should have had more of that cake. I'm thinking of cake, but
she's got cake on the brain.
But like that cobbler at Hugo's, you know,
Yes,
I had to go back with you the other day because I didn't eat enough of it. You see, so don't walk away saying, I should have had more. And you're going to do that. You're going to do that if you've got any conditions going on, which is the one condition, which is the condition being what?
That love is not what you are.
Yeah.
Period. That love is fill in the blank.
Yes.
Anything. You know what I mean? Versus anything other than love. Love is love.
Validation. You need validation. If you need accreditation, if you need what's another one? You know?
Affirmation.
Affirmation. That's what I was trying to think of.
Confirmation.
Yes. Thank you. Yes. Look how many we
Delineation.
came up. Yes. Look how many.
We need them all. We think we need them all in order to love. It's like I wrote a post a while back, Love for Lease, and it was this mural on this wall. And it was a mural of love, but there was a for lease sign on the building. And I thought, isn't this life? I mean, not life. Isn't this the life that we've constructed as humans? Love for lease. Sign here, put your deposit down, and then I'll love you.
It's like I have 3 sons, and I really know there are some men out here listening, and I have such a tenderness in my heart for men. I do, regardless of what is going on, as you've said with your program, even prior to me joining.
Yeah.
This is about both of us, both sexes, the man and the woman.
Yes.
And this has nothing to do with, how would I say it appropriately, like your gender.
Your gender preference.
Gender preference.
Identification.
Yeah. In other words, no.
Identity.
If you're a man, if you're a woman, whatever, if you're a variable in there, okay, it really doesn't matter. It doesn't matter when it comes to speaking and sharing.
And loving.
Yes.
Loving.
In that moment, because your truth is going to depend on the moment. On the moment. They're not interchangeable.
Yeah.
They're not interchangeable, which is why if you put a definition on it, like Rebecca is saying, if you have any outsourcing and somebody else is required to give you permission, then that is going to absolutely be a plexiglass wall to your truth in the moment in terms of being that moment.
Yeah, yeah. And so, first, let's clarify. We really mean it when we say love is love, and love, therefore love is everything.
Yes.
Okay, love is everything.
Yes.
So every expression of any emotion, okay, is love. It's coming from love originally. I wrote on the Instagram post today for today's show, I did a bunch of hashtags. And it was something like love is you, love is me, love is he, love is she, love is joy, love is sorrow. And Tati went, wait a minute. You know what I mean? Explain that to me.
Yeah.
And
one keep your thought. And it was great because I'm reading and I went, oh, and there was a momentary shock to me because I admitted, wow, this is really good because when I think of love, I don't think of sorrow.
Yeah.
So I trust what you have here, but help me.
Yeah. Yeah. And I did that purposefully. I wanted to choose something that would make people like we were going, yes, love is everything. Love is you. Yep. Love is me. Love is he. Love is, okay. Yeah. I agree. Love is joy. Love is sorrow. Ooh, ding, 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 condition.
Yes.
Right. Condition, automatic.
Yes.
Ooh, wait a minute. That can't be love. Sorrow is suffering. Oh, really? Not when love is at the helm.
Exactly.
Not when love is at the helm. And find out for yourself. Find out that this is true for yourself, okay? I'll give you a personal story. It's not quite sorrow. It's sort of a variation of sorrow, grief, okay? My grandfather passed away, my favorite man on the planet, my grandfather. And I was sitting at home and I was sad. I was missing him. And I was feeling that grief and there were tears, that sorrow. And I was missing him. And I had a lot of awareness at this time. And I was listening and feeling and not denying my feelings, but I was going, okay, I know that everything is love. And so let me greet you, this emotion, as love. Let me hear your invitation, your call. And as I sat there and just listened and greeted love, the sorrow, the grief as love, and greeted it with love as the love that I am, that grief transformed, okay? The call of it was, yes, I miss him. I want to remember him. So the grief was saying, I miss him. Like the suffering was saying, I miss him. He's not here. But really the love's call inside of that was, I want him closer. I want to be with him.
And I hear you
want
saying
to remember.
It went from suffering, though, to the sorrow, to the grief,
to just love. Next thing I know, my tears were tears of joy because I was remembering one of his famous jokes and laughing, and I could just feel his presence, know. I called him into me. I called him present, and I'm not talking spirit. I'm just talking
what you loved
by
of
remembering him. I called him closer. So that the lie was that I was missing him. Yes. You know what I mean? That there was something actually, sure, the physical was gone, but no, he can be just as present here with me if I simply answer that call to love, that call of love, saying, I want to be with him right now. I want to feel him. I want to laugh with him. And so there I was, feeling him. We
get selfish, don't you think, when we insist on it being flesh?
Yes, sure, absolutely.
That's a selfishness.
Yes.
And yet you got, in that moment, you got what we all want, even when there is flesh.
Oh, yes.
Okay?
Yes.
Even when there is flesh and blood, she got what we're really going for. What's in here. Yeah. It's like you want to stick your hand in, like my husband wrote me a poem. He says, I want to pull your heart out and bite it and suck on a piece. That's what you did with your grandpa.
Yeah.
See? Yeah. You got what went past this. And that's what we're talking about tonight.
Yeah.
That's what we're melding tonight. That's what we all want.
Yes.
Even if you're more of a solitary person, or you're happy, not that you're solitary, but you're in a situation where you're on your own, by yourself, but you're still going to have some type of a relationship with something.
Well, and I just want to point out that we just stumbled on on one of the definitions of love or conditions for love, the variations of the one condition, right? That it requires form, that it requires physical presence.
Beautiful.
Okay?
Yes.
And it really does not.
I love when we have a
yes,
on air.
It doesn't require physical presence, and it's not tethered to form. We said that last week.
Yeah.
You know, that what is being breathed into a relationship in terms of how we express that relationship with each other, monogamy, non-monogamy, you know, those things can change, like our agreements around the form and how we're going to express this love together in a relationship can change, but the love itself doesn't have to. You know, Rich and I, who is now my former husband, the love hasn't changed. The love hasn't changed. And I would say, actually, it is actually expanded, that love.
There's more room.
There's more room because there's all of the contracts we had made, you know, have fallen away.
Started to define it.
Yeah, had started to define it, have fallen away. And, you know, I kind of want to pause on that for a moment and relating to last week's show, the contracts, you know, because we really... you know, the intention of last week's show was to let you know that it's okay to disagree and to be disagreed with, you know, that neither of those are a non-loving act, okay? And
it doesn't mean they don't love you.
Exactly, that you're not being disregarded or discarded. And that was really where the bulk of the conversation kind of rested, as we kept kind of coming back to that place of like, it's okay if you're disagreed with, if they don't agree with you, it's okay, it's okay. Well, I really want to, you know, raise up that aspect of it's okay for you to disagree, and how that relates to what I was just sharing in the contracts, okay? Because agreements, contracts, what we say yes to, even without actually saying yes, right? What we say yes to by not saying no, right?
Yeah,
These little subtle contracts that we create with our partners, with our colleagues, with our friends, with life, with ourself, with our body.
The diplomat. You know,
yeah, and we've kind of negotiated a lot of times without awareness these contracts, these agreements, and things that we are saying, okay, I will live this way. I will live by your terms, you know. So I just want to invite you again into that of not just that it's okay to disagree, but take a look at the little agreements that you have made, out loud or not, you know, and perhaps it could be part of your celebration of love this Valentine's to break those contracts.
To begin to look at how are you participating in the lie against yourself?
Yes. Yeah. And really the lie against another, you know?
Yes,
because
ultimately.
Right? Yeah. If we are pretending that, yes, sure, I will be monogamous with you, even if we're being monogamous in action, but our heart is desiring something else, then we're not actually being monogamous with that person.
No.
And so, you know, you're lying to yourself and you're lying to them in that, you know, and you're doing a disservice where now neither of you are actually really truly licking your plate.
No.
You know?
And that's what this is
no matter
about
how much you put on it.
Yeah. Yes, because when she was able to take the steps of sorrow, you see, and then to grief, and then to just being with what she truly loved about her. I mean, did she love her grandfather's body? No. Her grandfather's body embodied what she loved.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Your grandpa, his body was the container for what you love.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. I mean, even his words, I mean, he was like me with words, and he was a very funny man. And so, yes, I cherished and I cherish his words. And yet really it's the man behind the words, the love that he is, that he still is.
That he still
is. The love that he is. That's truly,
and then we hold on to, but we do hold on to, you know, I'm not going into heaven or hell, and I'm not going into everybody's waiting for me in heaven. I don't know.
We don't know. We're not going to pretend that.
I don't know, and I don't care, really. I got him this time.
But we know what will be waiting there for us.
Everything.
Love. Yeah. We do know that.
But what I do love is that, and what I am going to be absolutely pushing you toward tonight, is go out there which doesn't need to be out there. Go out of here and allow yourself to partake of what you're feeling, what you're thinking, what you give that hug, give that smile, do that touch. If you notice, I'm a touchy person. I'm a very touchy person. I'm more touchy than she is. And I'm always touching her, and she lets me.
She is, and that says a lot because I'm very touchy. I'm a very affectionate person.
Yeah, because she is. But
I've met my match.
yeah. And if you notice, I'm always touching her. I'm always squeezing her. I've got her hand, and she lets me. But you see, she lets me. And because she lets me, it feeds me. And so I touch her more, probably. But what I'm saying is, don't hold back. You know
Yes.
if you want to give that hug or give that praise or do the honor. I mean, it's not all hugs and kisses. You see, we're not talking about hugs and kisses, copulation. Love. And its forms, its variations. That's the beauty. Love is being in relationship with something to the point where there is an intimacy that gets evoked. There's an intimacy. And what is intimacy? It's you reach inside and you pull out its guts. Yes. When we're together, we pull out each other's guts, don't you think?
Yeah. That's why I love you, baby.
We couldn't have it any other way. You see. There is something so delicious about allowing yourself to love.
Yeah.
And it does not have to do with hugs and kisses only.
Right.
We really want to.
Yeah. Love all of it. Greet everything. Every experience is what she's saying that you're having with the love that you are. Okay.
Yes.
That's how you find out, when you really sit there and make that commitment to love no matter what. Okay, I like that better. Love no matter what.
Yes.
Instead of unconditionally, boring. Love no matter what. No matter what.
But it doesn't mean you're stupid. Okay? It does not mean that you've lost your senses. It doesn't mean that you don't know what is healthy and unhealthy.
Right. We're not saying no matter what. You can still have your preferences.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay? Love your preferences.
Yes.
Love your preferences. Do you judge yourself for preferring coffee ice cream over chocolate?
Ooh, yes, I like coffee ice cream.
Me too. I love coffee ice cream. That's my go-to.
And then chocolate is second.
And add chocolate chips in there. Well, now
No,
it's
you
really
just
good.
ruined it.
Oh, really? Oh, well, see. But you see, this is, I can say to you, we can say to you, you are love. Everything is love. Everything comes from love. Everything is made of love. Love is love. We can say that to you.
And it's pointless.
But, we just sound like,
Every
other
other book.
self-help book you've read. And really, the truth of the matter is that you have to find out for yourself. Prove it to yourself. You're not going to really, truly know that here. You're going to experience it. And I'll give you a little thing that I work with my students with, and I call it the love valve. Okay, and all my teachings come from a personal moment or experience or triumph or tragedy. And so the love valve, where this came from was, and I told you this story.
Yeah.
So I was in a long-distance relationship, and we'd been planning to see each other for weeks, months, I don't know what it was. And anyway, he picks me up from the airport, and he says to me, I think I just want to be friends during this visit.
Dun-dun.
You know what I mean? I was like a little kid, so excited to see him, and then it was like, and I just felt the love valve. I felt myself. I watched myself just turning it off.
Like the thermometer. It went,
yeah. Okay, you don't love me. You know what I mean? I was interpreting that as you don't love me. Okay? Or a less than love. I knew he still loved me.
Well, he had placed a condition on it.
I suppose, yeah.
I mean, just from your point of view.
Yeah, well, I was placing the condition, that somehow our love was tethered to the form of our relationship.
Yes,
right?
but he was putting a condition because he didn't even have to say that. If he truly felt that, he would have just acted it.
This is true.
He had to label it.
Sure. And so anyway, in that moment, regardless of his conditions and my conditions, they were all there, right? And I watched myself turning that love valve off. I just felt the deflation, I just felt that deflation. And I was sitting there and we're kind of quiet. I hadn't really said anything. I said, okay. And then I'm sitting there and all this is happening. And I'm feeling the deflation, and I just caught that moment. And I just said, no.
Yeah.
I want to continue to love. I want to continue to love. And I just took that love valve and I turned it right back on.
It's like, okay, buddy, let's be friends.
Yeah. And then I turned to him again, and here come in agreements and the contracts we make. And now I said, okay, yes. So now I was truly agreeing, 100% saying, yes, okay.
Let's be friends.
Let's be friends.
Sure.
And of course, I think it lasted maybe 7 hours because all that love, he couldn't resist. Yeah. But, the point is, there is that love valve. And watch yourself turning it on and turning it off. And it doesn't even really matter that you know what the condition was that made you turn it off or made the other person turn it off for themselves. It doesn't really matter.
No.
I mean, sure, that can be helpful. Maybe if you're planning on being some sort of guru or life coach, that you can start to learn about the different conditions. But really, don't worry about it. Read somebody else's book. You'll know all the conditions, And the truth is, in terms of your own process, you don't have to know and understand each and every condition.
No.
You make that practice, that simple practice of being aware of what I call the love valve, call it what you will, of just being aware of you loving, right? Well, and then what you said, withholding.
Every time you put a condition on it, every time, you'll know when you put a condition, there's a restriction felt.
Yeah, a restriction, a deflation.
Otherwise, you feel expansive.
Yes.
Or if it's not even expansive, you feel open, you feel available.
Yeah.
Okay, let's use a
even
simple word.
In my sorrow, when I greeted it as the love that I am, there was an expansion in it.
Yes.
Then it could open to the experience of my grandfather being present now.
And I know the most beautiful time that every single one of you out there has felt, I know this for a fact, is when you've been quiet and you're having a thought, and then you have a delicious thought, a thought so delicious that just springs upon you, that you feel like you can't breathe, your heart bursts open, and you feel your eyes well up with tears.
I had one of those today.
I did too, on the way here.
I don't remember what the thought was. This is the beauty.
But that's it. I was by General Hospital where my first son was born. And we were driving by, and I was telling Darius, when Gregory was born, it was October. It was such a hot, hot day. I was kind of reminiscing, and then I got quiet, and I was looking. I'm going to cry. Doesn't matter. I thought, because when he was born, my two youngest sisters were only 7 and 10. And because I was 17. And my mom came to the hospital to get me and my son. And she drove home, and when we pulled up, Francesca and Susanna ran out, and they said, "Is that the baby? Is that the baby?" And I remembered how innocent they were. And for one moment, I could see how young they were. It was so beautiful, and I was just in the car, and my heart just exploded, and I could see my sisters as little children, but I could see them so clear, and I could see how happy they were and how excited they were. And yes, I was an unwed mother, and yes, I was coming home with a little child, but my mother was so happy, and the aunts, they were little aunts. Little aunts, aunties, and they were so happy. And in that moment, I was thinking about it, and my heart couldn't contain the memories. They were just so happy. They were burgeoning. They were bursting with just their joy. I was experiencing their joy at the little baby. They didn't. Is that the baby? You see, those are the moments. Now that's licking my plate clean, and it had nothing to do with hugs and kisses. It had everything to do with me allowing myself to presence myself. When your heart burst open today, whatever you were with, you just let it happen. And it hurts.
It
as
hurts
it's happening.
So good. It hurts so good.
So good.
It hurts so good.
Oh, so good.
Allow it. Don't hold back. Don't hold back. You know, in that moment with that love valve story, you know, the other realization, it was beyond that, like, wow, I'm the one with my hand on this love valve, you know, not him.
Yeah.
You know, I get to do that. And
good point.
Yeah.
Good
I
point.
get to do that.
Yeah.
I am responsible for the love that I am and
Yes.
turning it on or turning it off.
Yeah.
And, you know, the other thing that I really realized was that, you know, we might be aware of when we do that. Well, you don't love me, then fine. I'm not going to love you. Well, okay, who's suffering in that moment? You know what I mean? Like, who's really suffering in that moment? I mean, maybe they will feel the darkness of, you know, your love light being shut off, maybe. But really, who feels it immediately? You do. You feel further from yourself. You feel that disconnect. You feel that deflation.
Oh.
You feel that emptiness, that depression.
When you
get
pout.
smaller, you know, you're less inspired, and here you are.
Come back to me. Come back to me, please. Yes.
And can I give you, will you guys listen to me if I talk to you like this? Completely uninspired by myself, by the love that I am? No. So really, you have your hand on that love valve, and turning it off, really, truly, the only one that's really suffering is you in that act. There's no vengeance in that.
No.
You know what I mean? Like
when I wrote my little thing that I wrote for Instagram and all of that, when I said to love is to be so natural that when you withhold your sincerity, it hurts. This is exactly what Rebecca is talking about. You're withholding your sincerity. You're withholding your moment as you, and it hurts.
Yes. Yeah.
Oh, it hurts.
Yeah.
Oh, it hurts.
And I love that you brought that word sincerity back in again. We love this word here.
Yes.
And, you know, really, if I were to teach about unconditional love, right? I mean, coming back to that.
You have to.
It's not you can't teach it. There's nothing to learn but to rather unlearn. And I'm sure you've heard that before, like, oh, there's nothing to learn but to unlearn. But really, that's because that essence, that love that you are, it is so natural, isn't it?
Yes.
And if we can simply remove the barriers, you know, and I'm not even just talking conditions, I'm just saying those filters, the prim and proper, the everything that says, oh, but may I have more? That's asking for permission somehow from life to be what you already are. That's asking for the affirmations, the confirmations, all of that. If you can just drop that, and like Tatyana said, lick your plate, you know, clean,
clean,
and then fill it up again.
And you know what? Take that. Not as a metaphor, but as I actually got it with Darius and I. You know, when we're alone, we love to have bad manners.
Love it. Love it.
And why are they called bad manners? Because you just are not allowed to do these things in public. And sometimes...
Can I come over for one of your bad manner nights? Sounds like my kind of hang.
And we would lick sometimes if it was really, really good. You lick your plate clean, you know?
It.
Or if he has soup, he'll take his, you know, you never take
slurp it.
Oh, never. For the last drop.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, no.
Oh,
but
yeah.
we do.
And the finger inside.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Or have you ever had a cake that's all virgin and you just bite it?
You know, I have not.
Oh, my God.
Okay, bucket list.
You have a cake, and she's virgin, and she's there waiting to be cut. No. It's like Homer Simpson.
Love it.
You see, now this is what we're talking about more, about these inclinations that we have that, no, I wouldn't necessarily do that at a party.
Sure. I mean, absolutely.
I'm going to honor
Yeah.
the beliefs of people around me, you know, and they have things about hygiene, and I get it.
But just because we're following the rules out loud and in public doesn't diminish the love and the expression, the wild self inside, you know, and that's the thing where we get so identified out here in this expression, and we lose our attention here.
Yes.
You know, don't lose your attention here. Keep your attention here, and just notice that love valve turning on and off, on and off.
And that valve she's talking about, it's like one of those, you know, those little ping pong balls in those air things.
Oh, yeah.
Do you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
That's how I envision her
Like
little
the
valve.
lotto.
The lotto balls. Yes, the lotto balls. Okay, I envision her little valve like our valves are like these ping pong balls going up and down all the time, you know? They should always be up, you see. Are you aware every moment, not that you have to act on them, but are you aware of your impulses? Are you aware of your desires?
Yeah.
Are you aware of a consideration that you're having that will make you smile and you'll say, yeah, okay, Tatyana, later.
Yeah.
You see, later.
Later. Oh, yeah. I found another teacup thing today. I was like, oh, wow, saving that one for later, are we? No. Anyway, yeah, you know, I you know, in this, you know, I kind of want to come back because we're running time here. Running time.
Clock.
It's running
Take
us, that clock.
back.
I know. What's up with you, clock? You know, in all of this, and part of that, the one condition that we place, right? And I'm saying you are the love, okay? And you have your hand on that love valve. Nobody else, that means nobody else has that hand on the love valve. I don't care who it is, how intimate you are with them. I don't care whether it's God, whether it's, you know, sure. I don't care whether it's, you know, some circumstance in your life, the biggest tragedy that could be happening in your life. Yeah. You know, I this past couple weeks, I've been finalizing a divorce. My car exploded, and I was getting audited by the tax man.
Yes.
And sure, was I tired? Were there moments, not exactly sorrow, but, you know, frustration? Yeah, sure, all of that. But that doesn't mean that I'm not also experiencing love in all of that, the frustration.
It doesn't negate anything else that is wanting to presence itself.
Yes, exactly.
She was frustrated. I mean, her car died. Sunny
my
died.
beloved Sunny, that's the name of my...
Yes, she died. I mean, she died.
She died.
I mean, she's dead.
Yeah, well, Rich may revive her. She's being shipped back to Idaho.
Lazarus has her.
Yes, exactly. So he may revive her, but I have already...
Or is Lazarus the one that got revived? Sorry.
I think he was the one that got revived, so maybe her name will change. I don't know. I'm terrible with those Bible stories, but... You know, yeah, there's nobody else has nobody and nothing else has their hand on that love valve. And, you know, it's an excuse that you're telling yourself when you're like, oh, but these things are happening. And so, yes, I am depressed.
The buts.
You know, I'm depressed because.
Yes.
You know, you want to be tired because you're dealing with a tax audit and you're car shopping and you're dealing with mechanics and you're talking to lawyers and... Sure, it's exhausting, these little details of life.
Yes.
But the love valve never got turned off in all of that. You see? So this is the key. You have your hand on that, nobody else. And if you've agreed to anybody else having their hand on that,
then you've agreed to somebody else having their hand on it.
And now you get to... And the truth is, they never, even if you agreed to them having it on there, they can't. It's impossible.
It's like you can't give your power away, and there's no such thing as vampire suckers.
Right.
That drives me crazy.
Yes. Oh, yes, I'm with you on that. It's a big superstition.
Oh, you cannot be with someone and they sucked your energy.
No, and you can't be, women who love too much?
Oh, Jesus.
Right? Like, you're drained because you're loving so much?
Oh, yeah.
Bullshit.
Yeah.
Bullshit.
No.
That is not true.
No.
You are more of you when you're loving.
There's more. When I had to get up every 2 hours to nurse that baby, I was bone tired. But I got up and I was up and I was alert and like she was just going to say, and I had more energy to give.
Yes.
But was my
body... You were fed by the feeding.
Yes.
Literally.
And was my body... fatigued? Yes. Mm-hmm. But was the energy there? Yes. Yeah. Yes.
Yeah. Every time, you know, as a teacher, a guide, you know, I've been in circumstances in Teo where my body was sick.
Yeah.
And it was like, I didn't want to get out of bed and take people up the top of the pyramid, you know? and it's totally tired and just not wanting. I don't wanna. And that was the truth of my love. I don't wanna right now. But it was let's go. I know the mind over matter game. And so I mind over matter it. And next thing I know, in that act of loving, in that act of service, my body is getting healed because I'm filling it with the love. I'm filling it with the love.
And our bodies are only an extension of our mind.
Yeah.
They're an extension of our mind. Your body is an extension of your mind. If you have anything going on with your body, I honor it. I understand.
Yeah.
I understand. But what's going on in your life that you're not handling?
Yeah.
Do you see?
And no matter what's going on in your body, the love that you are is not diminished.
It's not being
the life force
being
that you are is not diminished. That love is life force. It is.
We're in charge of our mood.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, sure.
You were in charge of your mood, and you did. You would say to me, I'm tired today, when we would meet on this Tuesday, I'm tired, IRS or whatever. And then we'd come in here and we were happy. You see?
Yeah.
So, that clock is telling us
we just got the 5 approval. So, yay, we got 5 more minutes with you all. And there's so much there's we think of like the conditions that we put on love as like the negative conditions.
Yeah.
They're also the pretty ones.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And we were just kind of getting into that of like, like the healing world and the guru world and all of this.
Yes.
And love looks a certain way, that it's in this frequency only and not over here in these frequencies.
And it doesn't have anything to do with hugs and kisses. And by that I mean like, a relationship with an other. Love has to do with relationship, however. It does have to do with relationship.
Yes, it does. Yes, it does.
But relationship, we've been taught, means with another. Well, another human only. No. But love must be related. There must be a reciprocity. There must be a sharing. There must be. But that could be with your, with your pet canary, with your dog, with your rock garden.
With your Jeep.
With your Jeep. Yes. 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 If you paint.
With yourself.
With your practice.
With your body, with your words.
If you're a doctor or a nurse, whatever it is you do. We have a friend.
What Tatyana is inviting is to express.
Yes.
Yes, be aware of the love valve. And, the other tool in all of this is express the love. Not
Let
just
yourself.
Don't withhold it. Express it.
Share.
Allow it to have words. Allow it to have actions. Allow it to have rituals that aren't rituals.
And it doesn't have to be with the human.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be with the human. I started to say we have real fast. We have a neighbor. He's a extraordinary mechanic, like a mechanic for cars. Yeah. He has a love affair with these cars. He can hear them.
Yeah.
You see, that's a relationship.
Yes.
You see, he has an intimacy with what he feels.
Yeah.
That's what we're talking about.
And when
lick your plate clean.
Yes. And when you do that, that's where that direct connect comes in.
Yes.
Yeah.
Which is what
relating at love to love, not form to form, not condition to condition.
And I love what you gave us using your grandfather. Thank you.
Yeah, sure.
You were missing his body, but no, you were missing the container because what you were missing is what you ended up with. Really.
Yes, yeah, absolutely. So, why we're here today. I mean, this is exciting because we've been teasing for a long time now that we're going to start talking about relationships.
Relationship, yes.
And so this is it. This is the beginning. This is, if you could step into your relationship with any one touchstone, because I feel like we've been giving you guys little touchstones, to carry in your pocket as you walk through your relationships. And if there was just one that I would want you to have walking through your relationships, it's this one.
Yes.
That only your hand is on that love valve, that no one else is responsible for that love that you are. And really that love, in the same token, that love that you feel for another you don't feel that love for them because of them,
No.
right? So not only do we make other people responsible for our love in terms of taking it away, we make them responsible in terms of giving it to us, giving us that
Nobody
experience.
is responsible for you. I don't want to hear any more from any of you. You don't understand me. I don't feel seen. I don't feel heard. Hear yourself, listen to yourself, stop lying, you'll start hearing yourself, you see? No, I am not responsible for hearing you or seeing you. That's not my responsibility. I don't see her or hear her. I have fun. She bees her, and I get to sit here.
I bees me.
And I
She
get to
bees
sit
her.
here, and I get to observe you, but I don't have to. It's not my responsibility to see her and to know her and to feel her pain or to feel her joy. That's hers. Isn't that wonderful? That what if I could do anything with your joy?
Responsibility is a power word.
Oof.
You know, we shy from it. We're like, ooh, responsibility, ooh. You know, no, it's a power word.
Very powerful.
It's a power word. And one of the biggest, we're just going to drop a little bomb on you before we leave here. One of the biggest reasons that we fear that responsibility for our power, for our love, AKA our love, you know, we are afraid of it itself. And this is why relationship is one of the greatest teachers in your journey of evolution.
Absolutely.
You know,
and it's
you-
not just with another. It's being able to relate. Okay?
Yeah.
To be in relationship.
Ooh, we might have to go into that
Oh,
next
yes.
week. Why
Oh, yes.
love is like, we're so scared of it.
Yes.
Right?
Because it's being able
I
to
think
relate.
that's the other side of this touchstone that we're giving
Celebrating love
Yeah.
means you can relate. Haven't you known someone that's such a juicy, juicy human,
Yeah.
but they don't know how to relate? They
Yeah.
don't know how to share what's
Yeah.
in there.
Yeah.
And you want to say, give it to me. I like it. Give it to
Yum.
me. Give me what you have in there.
Yeah, if you're not going to lick that plate, I'll lick it.
You know, my husband was like that. This current sounds like, I love when it sounds like I've been married a million times. I like that. We have to hurry.
Yeah, we
but
do.
give it to me. Give me what you have. I want it.
And so a final little call to action for you all out of today's show is, okay, Valentine's Day is coming, right? So let this Valentine's Day, no matter whether you have a partner or not, let it be a celebration of love, which is a celebration of you.
And a
you know?
celebration of licking your plate
Yeah,
clean. What are you
licking
going
your
to
plate
do
clean.
on Friday? Okay. What are you going to do on Friday? Let it be the threshold, the portal to forevermore for you in your relation to loving, to loving.
Yeah. An invitation to loving.
Yes.
So everything is that invitation to loving, including us saying goodbye to you right now, quickly. You know where to find us. We're always
Yeah, you
available
know
to you
us,
guys,
you know us.
100%. We love you. We'll see you same time, same bat channel next week for Shameless Feminine Speaks. Good night, y'all.
We love you.
You're listening to Shameless Feminine Speaks with your host, modern day shaman and sister to all, Rebecca Haywood, right here on LA Talk Radio.